Hello everyone and welcome back to KitbashCarnage. It's been a long time, apologies for the wait, but I've had a few things come up IRL and well, we're back now, put it that way. So coming into 2025, I'm going to see can we do a little revamp of the channel, kind of how we lay stuff out. So going back to 2024, I briefly spoke about how we're going to lay out videos. So in 2025, we're going to do kind of seasons with episodes in them. So these seasons will be basically a season where I'm going to rebuild and remake and kitbash and paint my whole Chaos army for Warhammer 40k. And then another and there'll be episodes in that for that season. And then there'll be a different season where I'll be painting up something else, and there'll be episodes in that for that. So everything should be kind of bundled into one season with episodes in it, instead of everything kind of being mismatched around. Being honest, I think that's what kind of got me a little bit, I wouldn't say frustrated, but confused and hard to keep up with the whole content and stuff. Is when I like to start different projects, but I hated starting a different project and not finishing another, but then not having it in a separate category, if that makes any sense. So this time round we'll hopefully be able to keep on track much more easily, finishing off one whole video out of a season. So one episode would be a whole video of something in a season, in a category in its own, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but hopefully 2025 is much better and easier to figure out than 2024. So let's get going anyway. In this video we're going to wrap up our, because I was making a Chaos Chosen unit, and then I was making a Dark Commune unit and doing a Warpsmith that I made. So instead of finishing off them in separate videos, I'm going to show you the progress of the whole army, my whole Chaos army, the Mutant Bearers of Faith. Check out the Instagram, a link in the description for the lore of that army. And we'll check out what we have so far. I think I have up to about 2,000 points ish. We'll see what we have, and then in the seasons and episodes to come, we'll crack into each unit and break it down and repaint them and whatnot. So starting off with the Warpsmith anyway. So this is a Warpsmith that I kitbashed and made with some Ramshackle Games parts there as the body, and then some green stuff tentacles, and then we just kind of put some bits in here looking for to act as if like they're like electrical coils and stuff, and then more tentacles coming out, and then just some guitar string wire for more kind of robotic arms. And as you can see, this is our kitbashed Warpsmith that we done. And then moving on to the Chaos Dark Commune unit, which is this here. So we kitbashed this as well, and somewhat painted it. I do have an arm missing off this one here, as you can see, but we have this lady here. I got this in I think it was Only Crates subscription thing, but then I tend to not follow through with that because of my own reasons. But then we have this guy here, who is like the main captain, and he's levitating via the tentacle guitar strings that are attached underneath, as you see there. A little bit off-centered, but we need to kind of go through all these and repaint them and remodel some of them into different postures. Then we have the twins in the cloaks with the swords, and we just, as you see, we just extended this sword here. We cut another sword in half and extended it. It's a little bit warped, but we'll fix all them and see episodes to come. And then I stuck some daggers coming out of their back there, just to give it that kind of more gruesome effect. And then finally, this dude holding the skull. So as you see, he's just levitating He's got that little skull there. And then he's got the bits coming out, electrical components coming out of the back. And tentacles and whatnot kind of holding him in together. As if this is his head and he has no eyes, so we can't see type of thing. It's like a parasite. So that's that unit. And then the Chaos Chosen, which is this unit here. Oh, I just dropped the guy. Which is this unit here. I'll just get this fella. So this is one of the Chaos Chosen guys. And as you can see, the paint kind of came out a bit flaky. So I obviously didn't shake the can well enough. So another reason why I want to go through and strip them and stuff. And start again. But you can see the theme with the tentacles and stuff that are coming up. Holding on to the axe. We've got another one here. Lots of these spikes coming out because they're mutated. More tentacles grabbing on there. Another dude. More mutated. As you can see, we're going down this theme with the tentacles and stuff. And we've got a double kind of claw dude. As you can tell, I'm not kind of up to date with the names of the weapons, but they look cool. And then more of these kind of bony kind of structures coming through. And then this would be the main guy of the unit. He's got a chainsword mutated kind of into his arm. Unique gun there with the tentacles wrapping around. And then his banner. And I think I did a head swap here. As you can see, it's kind of like a weird little back there. I think that's off a Terminator squad. But yeah. And then attached to him, or attached to that unit, is a Chaos Lord. So this is the Chaos Lord that we kitbashed. And as you see, the tentacle kind of bit going through to the, what is like a power hammer. And out the back there, through them pus nodules. And then right around. And he's attached to them guys. And then we'll move them out of the way. So that's our Chaos Chosen unit, our Dark Commune, our Warpsmith. And we've got another guy here. Forgive me about the names of everyone. There's another unit. Still to be finished, like I said, but this is where we've got so far. And we get the last guy up. So that's him. Apologies for not knowing the name of that unit. Could have said it. Could be misnaming everything. And we have our Terminator unit. So in our Terminator unit we have some custom bits as well. Obviously we've got the pus nodule coming through. A few tentacles. And then our army is kind of based off of the word bearers. So it's called the Mutant Bearers of Faith. So hence the reason the armor color is more red. But it's more mutated look. So here we have like a mutated arm here. So double kind of melee. Some more tentacles coming out there. Pus nodule on top. A heavy gunner guy. Some more pus nodules with some bones growing through there. And then some scroll attached for the word bearers. And this would be like the kind of captain of the unit. Apologies. As you see, sticking to that gruesome look. Changed the head for a skull. Added a few scroll details with a little cape at the back and then more bones up top. Another double blade guy in Terminator armor. Double Mr. Scissorhands. And some more tentacles coming up there just to give it that personal look for the word bearers. Some more pus nodules. And then a Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. customized again. Kitbashed with a skull head swap. And then nice power hammer here. And then just going along. Not too much different bits swapped out. Just enough to keep it basically unique. And then moving from the Terminator unit, we go to the Possessed. So the Possessed we have here, obviously sticking with the theme of the colors. And then obviously because they're possessed, we don't really need to add too much more gruesome mutated look to them, because they're already kind of mutated enough. I really do like these possessed figures. I like the old school ones a lot as well. I actually have an old school model. There's some old school possessed models. And I like these guys an awful lot. If anyone remembers these guys back in the day. But compared to the new possessed, the height difference, the size is unreal. These possessed, as I said, don't really have to change much to them. They kind of are what they are, and they look menacing enough. Just adding a few bits and bobs, some writing to the claws. And then a little bit of base action, but these all have to be touched up. But as I said, into the new series, we're going to redo these, majority of them, and touch them up and create our army together. And then attached with these is our Master of Possession. So I didn't want to buy a Master of Possession, so I just made my own. So this is made from, believe it or not, a free Space Marine model that you get if you go into the Warhammer shops. They tend to give you one to paint if it's your first time there. So I just used some green stuff, remolded him, made a staff, and made a Master of Possession with some green stuff cape, some of them tentacles that we were talking about, and then a little mutated arm. And then I stuck a skull in here with some flashing off of drilling into some sprues. I used them as the flames on top of the skull, and that just created our Master of Possession. So he's attached to the possessed squad, or the possessed unit. So as you can see, I kind of have something is attached to each unit, or to each squad. So we have the Master of Possession attached to the possessed. We have the Chaos Lord and Terminator armor attached to the Terminators. We have the Chaos Lord attached to the Chosen. And then we can go to the Accursed Cultists, I think they're called. So I like these guys, mostly for their mutated look. They go so well with my army and the lore of the army. Apologies for the rough paint style, but as I said, we're going to go over all these, and I kind of like the way it turned out. But I absolutely love these models. Just the detail in them. And a lot of the demon-esque or the demon-like look to them all. And then we have some of the smaller ones, which again, some really nice detail in them. And they go really well with the whole unit, the whole squad. And once again, these guys I'm going to try touch up and go through and repaint, and then you can see them all come together. I think I actually have a broken finger on one of these guys here. But that's the that's that unit. Forget what they're called already. And then with all of them, I also have obliterators. One unit of obliterators. So this is an actual obliterator I got in an eBay lot. And then I made an obliterator to go with this. So I casted this obliterator and made this one here to go with this guy. So there's a slight scale difference between the two, but as a proxy in a friendly game, it does the job. So these two guys are my obliterators. So I'll show you the proxy one a bit more detail. It's a bit rough around the edges, to say the least, but it does the job. And in a friendly game, if your opponent is happy for you to proxy something like this in for something along the lines of this, the same kind of scale, then it does the job. So they're my obliterators. Next on the list we have the Hellbrute. So this is a Hellbrute that I customized with a giant flamethrower, and then a few more green stuff tentacles, a few kind of skulls sticking out, and a few tapestry kind of scrolls sticking down here that we're going to paint more scroll like, and that's for obviously the Mutant Bearers of Faith, the word bearers kind of theme. Lots of tentacles there. And then we have the Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. So this is our Lord Discordant. So as you see, we have a few tentacles there wrapped in, a few more in the back, bit of writing, not much kind of added onto him, a few scrolls on this side that we need to still paint the scrolls. And then we have the base, obviously just a normal cork base. And I leave him so he can be unattached and attached just to take on and off. I kind of like the way I can position him in certain ways. But that's the Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. Also, I have a Rhino. So this is a Rhino that we kind of customized up into our theme of our army. So some gore, kind of mutated look on here. More around the sides. On the back, adding some of these armor panels from Ramshackle Games. Thank you very much, Curtis, for your donation. And then I also, during this time when I was doing this, Vindicators became much more powerful. So instead of buying a Vindicator, I customized this with magnets at the front. So obviously it's not really the best fit, but you can have your Rhino there and then take that off. And then I made this custom Vindicator kind of piece, and then that clips on there. So you have your Vindicator now, and yeah, that's your Vindicator for when you play your game. So it can become two. You can either proxy it for a Vindicator if your opponent allows you to, or you can just keep it as a normal Rhino. So that's another thing. I also wanted a bigger tank because I played against an opponent one day who had a Space Marine army full of tanks, and the only thing I had at the time was a Rhino, which made me turn this into a Vindicator. But I wanted something bigger, so I made my own Land Raider / Torture kind of mobile. So this is how we went with this. So I ended up getting another Rhino that I extended, and then got some more bits that I had and turned it into our own kind of Torture Land Raider. So as you see, we have a few details there. We have the Torture Crane hanging off the back there, where you can manipulate it. That's actually an orc kind of wrecking ball thing. Giant cannon. The Nurgles on the side there, and then this turret actually is magnetized on, so it can change in direction, and that's just another turret on top. So that's a kind of roughly around 2,000 points, I think, altogether. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. But along with that, I have plenty of other things like these sorcerers that I'm making that I still have to paint up. I have another Chaos Sorcerer, and he's on like a levitating kind of lightning bolt base. Along with them, I also have a Chaos bike that I made that still has to be painted up. And I'm going to be making a few more of these. And then I also have some old school Chaos Heresy. They look like obliterators or dreadnoughts or something along those lines, but we'll come up with something with these. So I have a lot to do. We have a lot to go through. Like I said, I'm going to break this into one season of the Chaos Army, and we'll break that down into different episodes and complete one thing at a time. So thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you for coming back. Appreciate your support in the future. Apologies for being away for so long, but we're back now, and hopefully you like the new intro and outro. Thank you everybody once again. Hit that like button. Don't forget to share and show your support for the channel. See you all later.